Hi, this is Wishop, and this is going to be a reading for the new moon of June 23rd in Cancer. And I love this new moon. I feel like it really follows on with the Gemini new moon. If you haven't been taking action yet on new intentions or new things, it's not too late. I feel like the only way I could come up with it is if you put in a quarter, the universe will make it $1. There is a momentum right now. There's a flow to things that means if you take one step forward, even a little baby step in the direction of your dreams, the universe will help scoot you up another few steps. However you want to think of it. So if you are making movement in the direction of your dreams, you're probably going to notice things are speeding up. And with the Cancer new moon, I think there's going to be more of an opportunity to make things official in some way, shape, or form. So it could be you're making an announcement. It could be that the momentum of events are making an announcement for you that somehow the new thing that you're a part of, it could be a relationship, it could be a new health regime, it could be a new job, a new activity, a new hobby, but it's going to be something that you care deeply about. So whatever this new thing is, even pet ownership, it could be a new pet, but it's going to be really close to home, and it's going to make itself known, or you're going to make it known. And now is finally the time that that's going to happen, because it's going to be happening near the Capricorn full moon of July 9th. So this next 2 weeks are really a time when we're going to get those hints, we're going to get those boosts, we're going to get those opportunities, because things are really coming into fruition. So I hope you're feeling that. I'm feeling that too. I have some projects that I've been working on somewhat slowly, and I'm going to try to make sure that I gear up a little more on those so that I can take advantage of this momentum too. When creative activity is really favored, the moon goes around the cycle of the horoscope, almost like it's a pinball, and it's just hitting the bumpers and lighting them up. So it's been hitting this sort of making this fire trine. So, for example, today it's in Aries, and it's bouncing off Saturn in Sagittarius, and it's bouncing off the North Node in Leo, that are in fairly close degrees, and Uranus is in Aries. And so these active planets that are both innovative but also concrete are really being triggered. So a lot of this stuff that you've been planting and working on, and it seemed like it just wasn't moving, it's moving. It's moving, it's happening, it's blooming. And so you just kind of need to keep your navigation on target for where you want to go. Another card for the moon in Cancer is the chariot card. So when we think of the chariot and the charioteer and those two sphinxes of different colors that are sort of pulling the cart, the idea is that you need to keep your direction in mind, and that you need to maintain mastery of your own desires, both conscious and unconscious, of your logic and your reason, but also of your compassion. So really right now, we're getting into a point where you're going to be able to hit the gas as long as you're heading the right direction. So just check your course every so often. But I think things are going to start to get really fun. And as stuff goes into Leo in July, it gets so good. I'm so excited about this July. I think it looks fantastic. Anyway, let's get to the cards. So I've got 3 Lenormand cards this time. And then I've got this bonus Reflections Tarot card from this deck, which I really love. So let's start with the Lenormand cards. The stars, how lovely. The bouquet, how lovely. The dog, how lovely. I mean, these are just such great cards. For me, The dog is kind of the seventh house. It's the house of partnership, of faithful alliances, of things which are loyal and trustworthy. So that's great. The stars are again this idea of guidance. So it can be your hopes and your wishes, which we're focused on, but we're also getting guidance on those, or we're using good guidance, good navigation to get there. The bouquet, for me, is a very Jupiterian card. It's a card of gifts, of surprise offers. It's a card of recognition. So when you have the stars and the bouquet, you have this idea that you're getting this inspiration, recognition from the stars. You're getting a little divine boost, and that's what I was talking about. And that it's leading to things which are going to be long-term parts of your life, this is very much echoing what we've seen in other readings, or at least if you've been watching mine. These long-term, good, warm, loving parts of our lives going forward. So perhaps things which weren't a part of our lives before, and again with the pets, it could be an actual dog, but things that weren't a part of our life necessarily before, we are forging new associations, new partnerships, new habits, new relationships. And these are very much blessed. And as long as we're sort of navigating by our heart and by our true desires, we're really going into a wonderful direction. I mean, it's almost hard to say anything else about it because it's just so nice, but it is looking like these good aspects here are really yielding real world aspects. We think of the dog as a very real world, everyday kind of card. So this isn't that you're attaining a sort of spiritual acceleration that leads only to your inner world. This is the receipt of some sort of recognition after hard work, or really starting to gain the results of your efforts in a way that not only feels divinely blessed, like the stars are shining on you, but also has real world impacts. And most probably in the area of associations with people, and good, warm, friendly associations with people. So let's see what the tarot card has to say about it. Okay, Two of Wands. So this is a great card. The Two of Wands, I think of as the sun in Aries. So it is very much about personal direction. And if you see this character, you think of that idea, you've got the whole world in your hands. There are two posts here. And when I think of the fact that we're coming up to the summer solstice, which is one of the 4 quarters of the year, we've got the summer solstice and the winter solstice, so the time of greatest light and greatest night. And opposite those quarters, we have the equinoxes, which are the time of equal light and equal night. So that creates the rhythm of our year. And as we head into the summer solstice and the Cancer season, which is watery, and people say, well, why is the watery season associated with summer? It's because it was during this period that the Nile would flood its banks and make the land moist and fertile for planting, so that after this season comes the season of planting and harvest. And so the flooding of the Nile, while it looked dramatic, and it could disrupt things in the short term, the long-term result was prosperity. And so that may be something you're experiencing now. If you're going through big changes, you may be dealing with the issue that you're going through adopting these new things in your life. and it's being made public. And the great thing is you're feeling much more confident about it and much more comfortable. So you're not feeling so defensive. You're feeling able to just stand true to yourself without needing to fight about it or get hostile with it. But at the same time, these are big changes probably that you're going through. And you're going to find yourself potentially getting a little off course just because the momentum of events is going to sweep you this way and that way. There's nothing wrong with that. Sailors work with that all the time. It's called tacking. You know, they sort of tack back and forth. They make progress forward by going one direction and then going another. And so they sort of zigzag their way forward. And we can do that too. And to me, when I see this Two of Wands, and I see these two wands, I think of, because I think of the summer solstice, I'm thinking of the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, which are the two sort of marker points on the, I believe, latitudes. Sometimes I get this screwed up, I'm dyslexic, but these are the marker points that show the basic highest area north and the lowest area in the south, that create this sort of fertile belt around the world, which is the area in which we are looking at the constellations. It's the area in which we are sort of charting the weather. It's the area in which we're looking at the movements of the moon. So, and those are also like the two towers you see on the moon card, are these tropics, and we're measuring things within those tropics in order to figure out what the seasons are and what where we are in the year and what the right activities are to be doing at the right time. So when I think of the chariot card, right, holding those two steeds, and then I see this card here, we've got the whole world and we've got these two wands, and it's almost like we need to navigate our way successfully through them. And they're a little twisted, you know, they're a little gnarled, and yet I don't have any lack of confidence. This person to me looks, let me hold it up a little bit, looks very purposeful, very able. You can almost see these as like goalposts. If you needed to put this ball through those goalposts, that's kind of what's happening. So there's a need to sort of keep your aim, keep your eye on the ball, keep your aim towards what you want. Don't focus on the trees you're trying to avoid as you're skiing. Focus on the goal. So, and we have that same idea with the stars here, that you need to keep your eyes on the goal, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because momentum is going to pick up so much. You're going to get so much momentum behind what you're doing. It may carry you temporarily to one side or to another side. And so just maintaining your faithfulness to your ultimate goals is probably going to be important. And I believe that this is a high-class problem, which is a phrase I like to use a lot, but it's a high-class problem. It's a problem of a lot of successes from your work starting to mount up on each other, and things start to go fast, and you start to get a little like, woo, where am I going? Am I spinning out of control? You're not, but you're going to have to handle it like a sailor or like a surfer. You're going to have to work with the energy and ride it to get where you're going. You're not going to be able to plot a safe and steady course at just one speed, if that makes any sense. But follow your star. I mean, if you do that, it's going to take you where you're going. And this time of accelerated action is going to lead toward those tangible, wonderful results that really you've been hoping for quite a long time. I think that this July is going to be, and end of June too, but this summer is really going to be, hopefully, some of the good stuff that you've really been working and waiting for. So anyway, I wish you terrific luck with everything you're doing. Have a great new moon in Cancer. I will talk to you next time. Look in the description box if you want more about the shadow cards. And thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Rock on with your bad selves.